Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela, and I have got questions for you. What opens with a flashback from season 1 of Kev saying, "You're so busy," as a kid. "You're so busy making sure that Kate is not eating too much and that Randall is not too adopted." Basically, that you neglected me. You know how I always say Kev is the middle child? And what closes with Mama today, Mama Rebecca, I think is her name, saying, "We had moments, Kev. I know we did. I just can't remember any." I added, "I just can't remember any." If you guessed This Is Us last night's episode, you're correct. The correct information will be in the title. This is Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. Thank you so much for clicking on the video to see how we hit from opening to closing. Let us proceed. So we have Kev, we have a game of Monopoly going on. Randall is there. He's got new glasses, and he's like, let the Urkel jokes begin. And Mama Rebecca is like, "Oh, there aren't going to be any Urkel jokes." And baby girl Kate is like, "Yes, there will." This is 10-year-old little kid them. And then Daddy comes in and way to put Mama on the spot, Daddy Jack, and he's like, "Let's go camping. Yay, camping. It's gonna be fun. We have this cabin, blah 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 blah." I mean, that is if Mama says it's okay. So she like in a position where what can she do? We see the setup for her, for him being like, that's jacked up. That's like putting her in the position to be constantly the bad guy or whatever. Y'all, I'm getting over a cold thing, so excuse my, don't look at my nose situation. Cover me up, Bella. So anyway, and Mom is like, the Pearsons are going camping, and we'll pick Kevin up from football camp on the way to our camp or whatever. So they're going camping. That's going to be, whenever we have flashbacks of them as children, it's basically this camping trip, this episode. And then we have Kate and her fiance Toby, and we find out that Kev is in rehab, and he was sent by a judge at his DUI hearing, and Kate is feeling a way that she missed out on Kev, that he had so much going on. And Toby is like, "Well, we had a lot going on too, boo." And then, they had this joke where they like, when life takes us low, Toby, that's their couple name, maybe, possibly, goes high. So anyway, so that's going to be what's going on with the adults in modern day time. The 37-year-olds are going to be going to visit Kev in his rehab. There's like a family counseling situation happening at rehab, so everybody's getting, we're dealing with that as adults. And then we see Toby taking out the trash because Kate was like, "Oh, we're getting ready to go. Oh, could you take out the trash?" And he takes out the trash. The bag burst, and I didn't really understand what it was, but I guess it was fast food boxes or something. So he was surprised. He didn't know she had been eating fast food. When they were getting ready to plan the trip, they were like planning to take like celery and hummus or whatever with them so that they could, eat well or whatever. And then here she is with the fast food stuff. You don't have to take celery and hummus. You can just get fast food at the airport. And then we see, the oldest daughter, who I wrote ceiling fan, I couldn't think of her name, but Tess, the oldest daughter of Randall. And, she's like, "I was just sad about Deja. I'm not going to freak out and run away again. Go ahead and see Uncle Kev. I'll be fine, with babysitter Julie. She makes good brownies anyway." And Beth is Randall's wife. Mama Beth is like, she mad at the jackass brother Kevin. She looking for an excuse not to go. And Randall is like, "Well, when I get mad at Kev, I'ma just take a deep breath and say, 'I'm here for you, Kev.'" And wifey Beth is like, "That is some white people level repression, babe. That is some bull." Okay, so then we got the family at the treatment center. We have Mom and the stepdad. What's his name? I couldn't think of his name. I got it written down later. But the Daddy Jack's best friend who married Mama Rebecca. Then we have Katobi, and we have Randall and Beth. And then we meet Barbara, the therapist. We'll see her at a scene or two again. And they're there for their first session. And she's like, you know, for the first session, I'm thinking, you know, maybe just your mom and your siblings, not the others. And Beth is like, oh, the others? Oh, well, it's like somebody from Lost or something. She said, I didn't really understand the reference. But she's like, okay, fine, we'll leave, because she didn't want to be there anyway. But she got such a funny little demeanor. And Kevin is like, well, I invited everybody to come, and everybody is part of the family or whatever, but the others leave. So it's just, hey, Bella. So it's just going to be, you know, that immediate family group. And when the therapist was like, well, we'll just have the immediate people, I got really confused, because I'm like, are they going to throw out Randall? Like, I didn't understand what was going on. I just totally missed the whole fiance, wife, husband type thing. I don't know why. Okay, so then we're back at camp with the, you know, when the triplets were 10-ish years old, and the mom is saying how she's really concerned about Kate's obsession with food, because daddy has gone and gotten Kev. And when Kate is talking about, you know, oh my god, camp is so much fun, we roast marshmallows and we eat s'mores and we make popcorn and we go get ice cream, it's like everything she was saying about camp being fun had to do with food. The mama Rebecca noticed. And Daddy Jack is like, oh, I'm not worried about her. I mean, she's just having fun, and plus big bonedness runs in our family, and you know, all of this stuff. Then we see Daddy Kevin trying to plus with that. Oh, so Kevin, we see then we see like the kids outside playing, and the mother was like, well, I think that Rebecca was saying, I think that Katie needs to exercise more and eat less junk food. So then we see, you know, the next scene we basically see is Kevin and his dad playing football, and Kate is playing with them. Randall is sitting at a picnic table reading, and the mama is Rebecca is sitting at the picnic table with him reading. And little girl Katie is like, I don't want to play, I'm tired of playing, I had enough football, I want to stop. And Daddy Jack is like, keep playing, keep going, it's fun. And she's like, it's not fun, I don't want to play, why are you making me play? And meanwhile, Kevin is trying to get the attention. He like, I want to play, if she don't want to play, let her sit down, I want to play. And then Daddy ends up saying to Rebecca, you know, look, you eating a lot of junk food and we want you to exercise more. And so then, not to Rebecca, but to Katie, baby girl Katie. And then Katie is like, you know, a little embarrassed and upset. And I don't know if Kev noticed or not, but, and you know, when Katie was like, I don't want to play, why do I have to play? Why doesn't Randall have to play? You know, and then when, you know, Daddy said that to her about, because you're eating a lot of sweets, you know, and blah, 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 blah. And then I guess baby girl Katie runs away or whatever. And then Kevin takes the ball and he throws it at Randall and tries to hit Randall. He doesn't hit Randall. But he's trying to hit Randall. And then mama wife chastises him. She's like, you know, why did you do that to your, you know, you almost hit Randall. And Kevin is like, good, I wish I would have had, basically. So, you know, you see that family dynamic again of Kev just trying to get attention, and everybody is concerned about everybody else because, you know, he's the middle child. 37-year-old, oh, so we see 37-year-old, you know, triplets. The family is in therapy. There's Kev, there's Kate, there's Randall, there's Mom. Kev apologizes to Kate. Kate apologizes for taking her eye off the ball, and the ball is you, Kevin. And Kevin apologizes to Randall for scaring him and Beth with Tess in the car. And the therapist is like, you talking about this is cathartic, Kev? I think you're being polite. You want to talk about what we've been talking about in terms of where your addiction started? And Kate is like, I know, I've been telling him he needs to talk about, you know, our dad's passing and his grief because our dad was so perfect and he just won't deal with it. And then Kate says to Randall, because the therapist is like looking like, Kate is like to Randall, was that a look? And Randall was like, yeah, that was a look. So it's kind of like your family story is not the same story, or their story is not the same story that the therapist has, and she might not be buying into that story. And then we go back to the others. We have Toby. He's like, you know, to the new big three. And then we have the Miguel. And then Beth is like, well, Randall expects me to just forgive Kevin, but I don't forgive him, you know. And and because I don't forgive him, just because he said sorry, he put my child in danger, he put everybody in the road in danger, and I'm supposed to forgive him just because he say sorry, but I'm going into the Pearson no-fly zone. And Toby is like, well, what about when you have to fly into the Pearson no-fly zone? Because I have found something out that I really need to talk about, but I don't want to talk about. He talking about the fast food. And then, what do you do when you have to talk about something? And then Jack is like, and then Miguel doesn't really say anything. And then we're back with Katie as like a little 10-year-old girl. And Jack is like, hey, Katie girl, can I join you? She's sitting outside just looking off into space. And he's like, what are you doing here? Just sitting? And Kate is like, do you think I'm fat? And Daddy Jack is like, Katie girl, you are my most favorite looking person on the whole planet. And then we see Randall, who is a creature of habit. He's like, I can't find my glasses. And Mom is like, well, where are they? He's like, I took them off and I put them right where I always put them when I wash my face. I put them. And then Mom is like, okay, well, we'll look for them. And then as soon as Randall leaves, she like, Kevin. And, come here, Kevin. And then Kevin is like, she's like, did you take your brother's glasses? And Kevin is like, no, can I go? And Kate is like, give them back, Kevin. You know your brother needs your glasses to see, and it's not funny. And Kevin is like, I didn't take them. You suck. This cabin sucks. This family sucks. Can I go? So there's like a source of tension. And then we see 37-year-old Kevin in the family therapy, and he's like, at the center of my entire childhood, I felt like I came in second behind you two. Kate had Dad, Randall had Mom, and I didn't really have anybody. And Mom was like, that's not true, that's not true. And then the therapist is like, you'll all have a chance to share your experience, but right now Kevin is sharing his. And Kevin is like, and the voice in my head still says that I'm not enough, and I drowned it out with football, I've drowned it out with acting and being a star or whatever, but it was only a matter of time before it escalated and to drugs and alcohol and stuff, because I come from a family of addicts. We're all addicts. Dad was an addict, his dad was an addict. He didn't say it, but Randall's dad was an addict. Randall was a workaholic to the point where he had a breakdown. We know that the child, baby girl Kate, has a food addiction thing going. There's like I don't know what the mama's addiction is, but it's kind of a lot of addictive type behavior going on. And then Kate is like, Dad beat it. He wasn't an addict. And then the therapist is like, to Mama Rebecca, did you ever talk to your kids about addiction? And Mama's like, no, their dad is dead, and all they had was 17 years. They, no, I did not talk to them about the one part of him that was not perfect. And, Kate isn't going to have a dad to walk her down the aisle. Randall isn't going to have a dad to do something. And so, no, I didn't talk about, his addiction and all of that stuff. And then the therapist is like, it's kind of interesting that when you give examples of what your children lost out on by losing their dad, you don't have no mention of Kevin. And Kevin is like, typical. And Randall is like, come on now, spoiled butt, Kevin. I was there for your childhood, and you threw the ball with Dad. Mom rubbed your tummy. You are not an addict. You are an attention whore. And then Kevin is like, well, why was your daughter Tess hiding in my car? Because it's the Randall show. You brought your your dying father into the house. You're the one that had two dads. Your father had an addiction problem, and then you brought another stranger into the house, and everybody has to go along with your show. And Tess is like right caught in the middle of it or whatever. And then welcome to the Randall show. Go Randall. Go mom. And then Randall is like, I'm not going to take this. And he gets up and he's leaving. It's like all chaotic. And and then mom is like, oh my gosh, she's going after Randall. And Kevin is like, yeah, go after Randall. Go after your favorite child. You love Randall more. And then the mom, they kind of go back and forth. And the mom is like, I don't love him more. He was just easier. He didn't recoil when I touched him. He wasn't sullen. He didn't abandon me and move away when his father died. So that was that. And then we have Toby and Beth and Miguel, the others. And Beth is like, hey, Toby, we're day drinking. Like, this is really crazy. Ha, 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 or whatever. And then Miguel is like, oh, let's get some cheese fries. And Beth is like, Toberon, cheese fries instead of alcohol. And Toby is like, no, look, Kate is eating junk food. She fell off the wagon and she's been hiding it from me. And maybe she'll tell Kev or one of the other Pearsons who are on the inside. We're just on the outside. They don't tell us anything and we can't get into it. It's like they're a cool club and we're like on the outside. And, he talks about Star Wars or Star Trek and how, they like Chewbacca. They ain't even Chewbacca. And then Miguel was like, I'm not even Chewbacca. I'm, one of the people in the white uniforms who doesn't even have a name. And, I married my best friend's wife and no one talks about it, but everyone thinks about it or whatever. And then we see Jack and Kate running into the cabin. This is like back when Daddy Jack was alive and Kate was about 10 years old. And the mom is in the cabin and Jack is like, they're running in, they're all happy. And then Jack says to the mom, I took Kate to the ice cream parlor because he had been taking her to the ice cream parlor every day. And when they had the conversation earlier, when the mama is like, everything she's excited about with the cabin has to do with food, with sweets. So let's not, and Jack is like, okay, I won't take her to the ice cream parlor every day. Meanie. And he's like, I took her to the ice cream parlor. And Kate is like, he's like, I couldn't stand, how she was looking at me. And mom is like, yeah, I know you did that. I'm the bad guy. I get that look all the time and from all the children. And I'm like, yeah, you punk. That's part of being an adult, a father. Grow up. And then Jack is like, I'll be firmer. And then mom is like, no, you won't. You'll give the kids something to talk about in therapy one day. And then we see Kevin on the bridge staring. And he's joined, this is grown-up Kevin on the bridge staring, and he's joined by Kate. And they're like, dang, that was intense. And Kate, Kate is like, I'm glad Toby wasn't here to witness it. He would have cried. And she's like, but, her brother and she agree that they like the fact that Toby cries. And then Randall joins, and Randall is like, we need an objective childhood, a video of our childhood, and we wouldn't have to argue. And, I'm like, even a video is a particular perspective. So it's not like there's like some like truth, everybody has their take on it and their experience. And he was like, when I was getting fitted with glasses, I realized how blurry things had been. My view of the world shifted like 12 times in less than a minute when they were like, what's better, this or this, this or this, shifts, this or this, this or this, this or this, And he's like, I didn't come here to crap on your perspective, Brother Kev. I came because when I was at my lowest, when I was having my breakdown, you were there for me. And, I did a bad job today, Kev. And, just to clarify, they ha 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 ha. And then Randall was like, and just to clarify, I am mom's favorite, right? And then they all laugh. And I'm like, you're not necessarily mom's favorite. She said you were easy. That's not your favorite. But anyway. And then Kate, we see Kate telling Toby, this is like, I guess they've come back together after the therapy. And she's like, hey, I've been hiding junk food because it makes me feel good. But hiding it from you makes me feel bad. And I got a lot going on. I thought my food was about this, but it might be about other things. And I'm buying it. And then we see mom with 10-year-old Kevin at the cabin. And Kevin is ignoring mom, and he's on the porch, reading a comic book. And mom brings him dinner or whatever, and she's like, hey, if you tell me that you did not take Randall's glasses, I'll believe you. And then Kev is like, okay. And then it's like the middle of the night, little 10-year-old Kevin or whatever 10, 12-year-old Kevin, he wakes up and he sees Randall's glasses under Randall's bed. And then he's like, Mom, and he goes to tell Mom everybody is asleep. And in the bedroom, he sees that everybody is asleep in the bed except for Kev. You know, Randall is in the bed, Mom is in the bed, Dad is in the bed, and Kate is in the bed. And Kev had been in his other bed. He'd been excluded. And then Kev makes a pallet on the floor all alone since he's the middle child. And then we see Mom in 37-year-old Kevin's room at the rehab center, and she's waiting and waiting for him. And you know, she's like, hey, I've been waiting for you when he comes in. And she's like, you know, the first day of kindergarten, the other triplets were clinging to me and crying and carrying on, and you just went in, you never looked back. And, you know, I never worried about you because I didn't think I had to, and I was wrong. And Kevin is like, you know, I didn't have an unhappy childhood. And then we have a flashback of Mom waking up in the cabin and, you know, in the bed where the four of them were in the bed, and Kevin had made a pallet on the floor. And she sees Kevin on his pallet on the floor, and then Mom joins Kevin on the floor. So that's their special moment, because in therapy, Kevin was like, what memories do we have that are just us and not everybody else? Everybody else, you have memories that are just you and them, but you don't have any memory because you don't like me because I'm the middle child. I'm not your favorite. So then then we have some today. We flash back to today, and Mom is like, we had moments, Kev. I know we did. And I was like, I just can't remember them, but they did have moments. So that's This Is Us. It's back. They did good with that therapy scene. I like that whole, you know, it's like it's getting to some stuff. So thank you so much for sharing this video with all your fabulous friends and family, and your not so fabulous friends and family. And thank you so much for liking, commenting, you coming over to my channel, enjoying the content. If you are, give me a like, give me a comment. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for being a watcher. Thank you for being you, fabulous you. Today is the best day ever, so continue to do that. Be you, be fabulous, you, be you. Be fabulous.